When the night is over, should not hurt to cover up my feelings for you. Hard to say to a lover, yeah, leave it back forever. So all I can do is imagine better. Break heart apart to see what it's left to matter. I can't live forever. I will be lighter. Let's just live this moment. Why not be together? Together. 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 When the night is over, it should not hurt to cover up my feelings for you. Hard to say to a lover, yeah, leave it back forever. So all I can do is imagine better. Break heart apart to see what it's left to matter. I can live forever. I can be lighter. Let's just live this moment. Why not be together? Together. 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 Be together.
All we can do is imagine better together.
Yes.
And with that, I wish you all a very warm welcome to World at View, the first and best podcast inside the European Parliament. Hello, Kaan. I'm here with Kaan Akalın.
Yes.
Which is, what are you? It's quite difficult to describe. So you're a singer-songwriter.
Yes.
You're a businessman. You're a
Sort of a businessman.
content creator.
Yep.
You are of Turkish descent, living in Belgium.
Yes. An international person.
An international
more to
cosmopolitan.
Say. Yes,
I would
definitely.
say. So, is this your first gig inside the European Parliament?
Definitely is. I don't think that there are many gigs here.
No, they are not.
In the European Parliament in such a fashion. So happy to have a progressive approach to this.
Thank you.
Yes. And thanks for inviting
My
me.
pleasure.
Lukas.
My pleasure. It's the second time that we have live music in this office in 1 week. We had a rave last week on Thursday here, the second rave in the history of the European Parliament. First one was
Next
also
time I'm
about-
waiting for an invitation.
Please, yes, please. The next time will be in December, I think.
Noted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you didn't have a long way because you now live in Belgium here.
Yes. I actually live in Uccle. It's like 15 minutes to here.
Oh, yeah, I live in Excels.
Pretty near. We have to arrange some
let's
common
take it.
events for sure.
So what? I mean, you are also from abroad. You also moved to Belgium, and just today I had a very Belgian experience when I needed to get my driving license.
I saw it on your stories.
Yes, it's for me. It's always funny with the Belgian authorities because on the one hand they are more relaxed than the German ones. Yeah, for example, I didn't bring the documents that I needed, because I lost them basically. And when you don't have the documents and you go to the German authorities, they say no. They give you a next appointment half a year later, and that's it. And the Belgians, they are very relaxed when it comes to you participating in the proceeding itself, but getting an appointment for me was super hard.
Really?
So what's your experience? How do you? What's for you living in Belgium?
I wouldn't want to sort of market and advertise the place I lived before, Leuven. So as a student, I came here for a master's at KU Leuven. And since Leuven is a very international city, the Stadskantor, they call the city office, is extremely well organized, and you can get an appointment within 2-3 days easily.
Wow.
And there's also a system where you have to follow up, because at the night they cancel the appointments if people don't confirm their appointments. So you could even get it for the next day. So I was fortunate to receive my Belgian driving license maybe during my second month here.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have to change it, but I just liked the fact of having the Belgian driving license to adapt more. And by the way, I had the recent renewed versions of the Turkish driving license. And normally there are also the older versions. I asked the guy how they check it. He said that they drop it to the floor and they understand it from the sound.
Really?
So that might be how the tests are being done here. But they're relaxed. I think Belgians love living life, and they aren't in a hurry. It's in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they're on the top. Germans are also, but I think they're more strict, and they value strict and rules more.
Yes, we are not relaxed. We're not. It was funny because there's another motion for censure against Ursula von der Leyen, prepared by the left group. For those who don't know, it's basically a motion to dismiss the European Commission, and we just had one by the right that failed. Now the left is trying its luck. And I was contacted by a journalist, and she said, "Oh, it's very untypical because it was run by French and Belgian MEPs. It's very untypical for them to work until the last day before the summer break." And I was laughing because I was thinking to myself, for me as a German, that's not unusual at all. The summer break starts when the summer break starts, and before that you work. So
as Turkish people, we also love working. That's how life is back in Turkey. Also, here in Belgium, of course, the first year I was a bit away from the industry. But once I was able to get into the industry with a few internships, I understood that working a lot is a rare thing to see here. And I think it's due to the fact that your life is a bit too secure. That's one thing. It's definitely secure. And second of all, the more you work, you can get a higher income, but the tax also increases significantly. So there is not much of a really intrinsic motivation there. So that might be one reason why there's like a culture of keeping the status quo in a way.
I can agree with that sense, because we have problem with the tax increase when your income increases as well. In Germany, you are very, very quick. You are at the maximum tax amount with, I think, above 100,000. So you can either decide you work for a 50,000 of what you have, and then you pay way lower tax, or you work for 100,000, but you still have to give 50,000 away. So you're at 50,000 again. But you mentioned the Turkish world culture, and as you now told us that you have a Turkish driving license. This also tells us that you lived in Turkey quite a long time of your life.
Yes, around 25 years.
Yeah, so how would you compare the Turkish working culture with the Belgian working culture now that you have worked in both societies?
Yes, well, honestly, I would say that in Turkey, the hierarchy is way more strict. In Belgium, or in general in Europe, the hierarchies are flattened, definitely, and everyone sort of has more of a say to affect the direction. It could be different from industry to industry as well, but in general, this could be a case. And other than that, in Turkey, in general, from all my friends, I know that overworking is something pretty normal. And here, it is, in a way, normally illegal unless you're in the top 3-4 consulting firms, etc. And it's like an unwritten rule that you can overwork. So there's a lot of difference in that regard.
And what do you prefer? Which working culture? Having worked in both?
I'm not sure yet, because when others don't work enough, you have more to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you also prefer the same path they have, so sort of working just like not overworking, but you can work more efficiently, and people sometimes just let it go so they don't force a lot to get a lot of output. And then you have to either do more so that the team can move forward. I would basically say that I'm in the way of deciding which one could be the best option.
Happy to be updated there.
Yeah.
Because I'm, for my situation, first of all, I'm in business, politics, where there is no fixed working hours, right? That's a very important thing here. You have a lot of daily developments. I give you an example. On Sunday evening at 9 p.m., I got a call by BBC, and they asked me to give a comment on the new EU-US trade agreement.
Yes.
And they said, okay,
very contentious one.
Yeah, and the thank you. And the interview would be at 11 p.m. And then, of course, in my mind, it would be way more relaxing for me to say, okay, it's Sunday. I will not.
And you could say that.
Yeah,
by
of
the
course,
way.
I could say that. I could say, guys, it's Sunday. It's 11 p.m. on a Sunday. Are you fucking crazy? I want to relax at home. I need a day off. But if BBC calls you and you're a politician, it's way smarter to answer. So you don't have fixed hours. It's not like you're running a shop where you open the shop in the morning at 9 and then you close the shop at 6 or something like that. And this also leads, of course, to situations where I need to ask the same thing from my employees, from my assistants and my interns. Because if I get called on a Sunday for a spontaneous interview and I do not have the time to prepare it myself, I need to call my press speaker, and my press speaker needs to prepare some speaking points before the interview, which then also happens on a Sunday. And on the other hand, I know, because we have a lot of scientific research on that in Germany, that companies that actually enact the 35-hour week are often way more productive.
35 hours?
35, yes, 35 hours.
Here it's, I think, 38.
Yeah, they are going. That's a big discussion. Some people even want the 30-hour week, where then I'm also skeptic. But so the research showed that if the people work less, often they are more well rested, and then they are more efficient in the time that they got. So I think it's not just a philosophical
question. It's not about the timing, for sure. It's about the motivation, but I do feel like people don't have the motivation to climb the ladder sometimes, in general, from the industry.
So you think they're too, because as you said, they're too successful in a way, or everything is too safe. They won't starve.
Yes, there is no incentive.
Freeze in the winter.
Yes, and that's for sure.
You know that saying, good men lead to...
I know that.
How does it go?
So easy times create tough men create easy times create weak men. Was it that one?
Easy men create hard times, and hard times create tough men.
Yes, and tough men
create good times, and so on. So it's a cycle.
And then good times create easy men, and so on. Of course, let's say people, not men in general,
exactly.
to make it more. But this was something I used a lot, and it's true. And what I try to do for myself is I could have a relatively easier life compared to many peers, but I'm maybe a bit crazy, and I always try to be the best version. I try to wake up at 6, do my yoga, maybe before work, do some music or work on other things I can develop, learn the language, Dutch, French. And
how many languages do you speak?
I speak English and Turkish fully. And French is a bit better than my Dutch. Dutch is A2+. Okay. I would say French is on the way to B1.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
That's more than I speak. I speak just German and English. Un poquito de español. But not much. You mentioned your music in your morning routine.
Yes.
Is your music also helping you maybe to get off the pressure, to be more creative, to dive more into the philosophical tendencies that you obviously have in your mind?
I think it's one way of expressing things in way that I wouldn't be able to express with just words, because it also gives the feeling. You know, the first moment you came here, I sang, you had the feeling of what I actually meant. And it also allows you to convey messages that normally would sound weird. Like, let's say, if I come up to you and I say we are here to evolve, etc., you'll be like, what the hell is this guy talking about randomly? But in my songs, I also mentioned that themes. Like, I had that track called Evolve, and it was actually listed in Black Coffee's, the pretty famous DJ's list. It had over 200,000 views. It sent the message out there, and it aligned with my purpose as well. So it helps me convey such messages.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I do also have like a meditation routine where I actually sort of reflect on myself and try to come present.
I mean, as you seem like a calm person to me, actually. So I'm also a big fan of meditation. I should do it more often.
I'm not a calm person.
You're not a calm person. No, in your mind, you seem okay with yourself. I would maybe to put it like that. But I understand that what you also said before regarding work ethics. But I think it can be a more general approach. The messages in the music. It's also like a little bit like meditation, isn't it? When you say, I mean, two lines from the song that you just performed for us stick to my mind. The only thing that I can do is try to be better, to do better, right? I think that's something that's not only in your work. You can only try to do better. You can never promise something
And
actually
imagine
as a human
better
being.
in a way.
Yeah, you can just imagine things getting better, and that's what you need to do in your work, but also in your life. And the thing that touched me personally the most is I cannot live forever.
That's the biggest dilemma.
Yeah, exactly. Because I just had yesterday, I had the conversation with my sister. I don't know if I would like to live forever, but at least 300, 400 years. You know, this whole thing of dying after 90 years.
It's too early.
It's too early. I'm nearly 30. So in this calculation, one third is already over. And I want so much more things I want to do. And so much I want to see. I mean, I want to travel the whole world, basically. I want to see all the cultures and all the people and how life evolves, as you say. And then dying with 90 or 100 years, it's too early.
Yes. And by the way, I have one more lyric in that track that I really like. I say, break heart apart to see what's left to matter. Subconsciously, we live in a robotic way. And that's currently becoming more of a reality with social media. We copy things, we just do things trying to find more dopamine.
Yeah.
But actually, like, finding the purpose is an important thing.
I agree. I mean, I have one saying that I know is that bringing sense to life is bringing sense to life. The idea of life is you have to give yourself something that you live for. You will never find the reason to live as an objective truth.
Yes.
The reason that you pick to live, that's the reason to live. And this is the journey and the research that we have to do. And you can do it in your work. You can do it in art. You obviously do it in both.
Trying to, yeah. But I want to connect to something from you, because I forgot to mention like my past story where I actually started primary school in Italy, in Florence, for 2 years. I didn't know English, and I didn't know Turkish fully as well, because it's primary school. I mean, I was exposed directly to a international school, and I had to learn the language. I had to understand what's going on in life and learn more. And then there, of course, I saw Turkey beforehand. Then I saw Florence with many internationals around me. I understood that life is like a simulation. You think that the reality you see in Turkey is the only reality. Then you go to Florence. There's another reality. Then during my university times, I went to Rome for an Erasmus. By the way, Erasmus is a great program.
It's the best. I loved it.
And then to Singapore for an exchange. And of course, Singapore, after there, I went to Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. Seeing all of those things really made me question more. So it helped a lot my music career. But I would like to maybe come back to the Erasmus program, or however you like to take the lead here.
I mean, Erasmus is, for me, I think it goes into the right direction, because Erasmus in the end is about, as you say, it's about seeing places. It's about finding out something about other cultures and mixing up cultures. And As much as I love my home, I love my people, my culture, my language, my nation, but I'm also cosmopolitan. I believe that in the end, we might have a starting point somewhere on the map, and this is something that forms us in a certain way. But we are all human beings, and I think where we can see that the most is education, exchange programs, but also music and art. I mean, if I now ask you, what culture is your music from? I guess it's a mix up, no?
Yes, Turkish a bit, flamenco, even flamenco. I
Yeah.
feel like there is a bit of
Yeah.
from the strumming in this one, especially. Then a bit of Afro beats because of my electronic music, and I mean jazz is like the foundation of all. So it's all a mix. Hard to really put it somewhere. So
It flows together
yes,
basically, especially in the
together.
internet time. Do you consider yourself more a cosmopolitan or a European?
I would. How first of all we should define them. European is more like with the one that would fit the European values,
Yes.
like democracy and so on. Cosmopolitan is someone with a mix of cultures, or
As in that now it's a good counter question. I think European is also a mix of cultures, but there is something like I would say there's something like a main theme in
supranational
European
thing.
culture, like the European ideas of enlightenment. European music is way in its core, it's more different than African or Asian music from the instruments alone.
Yes, more classical, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like when you think about the actual European history, it's the classical music. So, from the music's point of view, I'm more probably a pop guy, so like American or UK. Ideology wise, I think I never want to fully relate to something, but European standards and European ideas really resonate with me. So I'll say both just to
Yeah.
make sure that I don't offend anything here.
No, this is a safe space.
Yeah.
It's only a conversation between us, you know.
Yes.
It's a
And
private
then,
private conversation.
Yeah. No, but in Turkey there is a lot of sort of like inherent admiration maybe or love towards Europe because of the values. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Even if you're in the US, you would still have it because there is peace here in general. So there's also peace in US probably, but there's more of a capitalist drive. So it has its own different tastes.
I mean, I think the Turkish culture itself is a wanderer between worlds, right? On the one hand, you have deep connections to Europe, always had, but on the other hand, if you look at the Turkish people, the Turkish culture, it goes all the way to what is now East China with the
Yes,
Uyghur
it came.
people, right? So Turkey really has this influence, and even though there's a distinction to be made between Turkish culture and Arabic culture. I think there's also big influence from the
Indeed.
Arabic world and the deep connection there. So,
And they always mix the fact that we are Arabic, but we are actually not. We are coming from that
very
Asian
important.
side. Yes. Though we have influenced a lot, and due to the neighbors, we are sort of intertwined. But there is, I think Turkey could be like half more to the European side and half more to leaning to the Middle East side. So there's like from outside, maybe you can't understand Turkey, but it's definitely has a lot of modernity and Europeanization in it.
Coming back to, as you talk about Europeanization, coming back to European music and culture,
Yes.
we know, and you mentioned the US. We know that the one of the main power factors that the US profited from in the last decades, especially since World War II, is its culture. Yeah, the Hollywood
Culture
pop
export.
music, culture export. That's as diplomats would call it, soft power. It's a very, very big thing. The whole world is shaped by Hollywood and by the famous singers and musicians and also a lot of artists. But Europe and also Turkey itself has always been also a centerpiece in the global cultural sphere. Do you think that as we, as the European Union, we have an interest in not only extending our union itself, but also extending our set of values and ideas, because that's what we talk about all the time, values,
Yeah.
right? Do you think that European culture and European music, in your case especially, could be a similar tool to, as in soft power, a similar tool as the US culture and music and the film industry especially has been?
Yes, it's a very strong soft power. Economically, I checked the data for 2023. Let's talk with some data here.
Yeah, love
Around
that.
like $105 trillion of the world GDP is $105 trillion, and of that, $25 billion is the let me say 25 no 2.5 trillion.
Trillion.
Yes,
Very important to
trillion
underline here.
dollars is the entertainment industry. But within the entertainment industry, there are like gaming, films, music, etc. And music out of that is $35 billion. So it's like out of every 10,000 USD generated in the world, only $3 is music. But it still has a significant impact.
Yeah.
And you know, in Europe, I think the strength of the industry, money-wise, would affect how politicians view it and try to create ecosystems around it, logically speaking. Music is not seen as something of a very high importance in the agenda. That's what I thought. And when you check the data, while US and many other countries are exporting significantly, like US was exporting 150 top hits, while in Europe you have only, if I'm not mistaken, France and Germany with just like 1, 2, or 5 top 10 hits.
I don't know any. I think I
don't
know
know
three German songs that are known outside of Germany.
Yes, and that might be just in Europe. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about global recognition. So there is a lack of exporting
Yeah.
of this culture. Like Erasmus, connecting back to Erasmus, it's a great way to export your not ideology, but what you're doing here. People come and see it. You also, by the way, pay to those people, which also incentivizes them
Yeah.
to come. Like I got a subsidy for it
Yeah,
from the
same.
government. It's great. And in terms of music, like imagine if you could be next to the person, accompanying that person with the music, the culture you have all the time. It's a great soft power, but it's not prioritized. And it might be due to like having 27 countries within one supranational organization and different language. Or think of Belgium. There are 3 different regions, actually independent regions, and even within Flanders
Which
there are
3
different.
are you talking about? Flanders, Wallonia, what's the third one?
Flanders, Wallonia, and Brussels.
You forget the German-speaking one.
Yeah, but they are under Wallonia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they are.
Right?
They are.
Yeah.
But it's very pleasant for me, because all the time when I'm struggling actually with someone in Belgium, I just play the German card and then I just request the conversation to happen in German.
And it's
and
like
then
a
they are
knockout.
and they were like, okay, we do what you want. We don't want this struggle of
Yeah.
having to communicate in German.
Yeah, so it's actually true. And we went to Monschau with my partner. I sent you a video from there.
I told you I was baptized there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. How could I go to the
That's
your
really it's quite fun.
baptization area before we have the podcast? It's unbelievable. And on the way, we started to see that the signs become German.
Yeah.
Before we got into Germany. So I can confirm, I saw it. I've been there, done that. But coming back to this fragmentation, it allows great creativity to arise, but maybe it keeps things local. And there has to be might be coming into a bit of politics here, like a policy to get things together and promote this, because this is a crazy soft power. And there is nothing out there at the moment in terms of Europe. There are some, for sure, but comparing to the other peers.
I think the main issue here is the language, right? So your songs are in English,
Yes.
partly at least, some in Turkish, as I learned, and maybe soon in French and in Dutch as well.
I think it would always stay in English.
Yeah.
By the way, I excluded UK from the list because in
Yeah.
UK you have Ed Sheeran, Dua Lipa, etc.
Yeah. Isn't Ed Sheeran from Australia?
No.
Oh, I always thought he's from Australia or New
I think
Zealand.
Ireland, but
Ireland, yes.
Ireland.
No, but I think it's a big issue, and of course we have events like this Eurovision Song Contest,
Yes.
which funnily enough also includes Australia, and that's something where we can export the music. Yeah, but I think and Spanish music, maybe Spanish music is an angle because music from Spain is also it's the second most spoken language in the world.
Yeah.
English is actually just number 3 for those who don't know. We have Mandarin,
That's true.
Espanol, and then it's only English.
It just has the power.
Yeah, exactly. The music
promoting the.
But German music, I don't know. I mean I know that Rammstein is very famous worldwide.
Yes.
Which is quite ironic from
it's
a German
like classically
perspective.
famous.
Yes.
Not like something recent.
Yeah, and the thing is that the people they think that the German language is very hard and that we scream around and it's all
due to that,
yeah?
right?
And the most famous band worldwide when it comes to German bands is the one that screams the loudest in the hardest German that you can find. So maybe people love cliches.
Yeah.
After all, but I agree with you. I think we should facilitate more cultural exchange and use culture as a soft power because it automatically comes with values. And the mere motto of our union is united in diversity.
Yeah, and Eurovision is united in music.
Yes, so there's an angle there, and I think that's why I, for example, I had such a great experience in Erasmus, and I love traveling because the mix up of cultures makes cultures stronger. It's the mix up of ideas. I mean, the greatest empire that Europe ever saw was the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, what they did, every place they conquered, they took the best ideas and took them from them. They even took the gods.
Yeah.
That's why
they were
funny
even in
pantheon,
Istanbul.
Yes, they were even in Istanbul, right? And when we talk about biology, there are a lot of terrible people in history, many coming from Germany, who will tell you that the purer the gene is, the stronger. It's complete nonsense. We know from biology that the more diverse the genome is, the stronger it gets, right? So even on a genetical level, diversity is actually the biggest thing. And culture, you have, as you say, you have all these influences from music and from literature, from art, and this allows you to get to know other skills and topics. I mean, also for me, speaking is also an art. Many people often forget that.
Art of rhetoric.
The art of rhetoric, and I use a lot of different things from different cultures. My pronunciation is very German, because the German pronunciation is precise, it's clear to understand, and it leads you to very specific conclusions. But I would say my hand movement is quite Italian.
Right?
I throw my hands around a lot, which gives the people a feeling of energy. And then also because I have a very limited time frame, what I often need to do is speak fast. So I have a lot of Spanish and French there.
They speak very fast.
I think this mix up of cultures, that's very important. And this can be a strength and it can be a soft power. And that's something that we can work on together.
Yeah, I think the issue is like the material wise, there's a lot of great content, but to sort of monopolize this and export it, there has to be something done, because you can have great songs out there, you can have great artists everywhere, but if you don't get them on Spotify on the correct playlists, or Apple Music on the correct playlists, they stand way less chance compared to other countries that have actually sort of policies or huge record labels doing it for them. I did check one huge, there are 3 huge record labels. One is situated in the Netherlands. I'm sure they're doing something for these, but I think this has definitely a bit of politics behind it as well. There's no way it doesn't.
Always. What's your tip? How do you do it? How do you place yourself on these platforms as a musician?
Yes. So what I did was, especially for the electronic music side, I always use my social media to maximize everything. I also made collaborations with artists like Sparrow and Barbosa, who have like around 1 million listeners on Spotify. So when we had a song out with them, it already pushed me forward. But besides that, I made sure that I'm in the playlists that are highly reputable and that have a high level of listeners. And I was working with a nice record label, so the ecosystem does help you a lot. And with their connections, we're able to bring the track up to prominent DJs. And those DJs, of course, when they listened to it and they liked it, they put it to their own playlist. And that is also soft power in a way, because you can never get there with just money.
It's connections.
Yes, all about connections. So such an ecosystem does exist, but I'm not talking about something just getting into playlists or just having 10 or 100 millions of views. I'm talking about dominating a scene globally. And we have South Korea doing that.
Yeah, with K-pop.
Yes. And
huge thing.
I had a discussion with a friend. He said that also has a bit of politics maybe involved in it as well, because they want to also create like a pop industry within Asia influencing it. But still, it's working. So, and Europe has a lot of potential variety in it to get international attention. It's just like planning it, also using a buzzword here, like AI and so on, allowing the use of it more, and just seeing music a bit of like an industry, like how you would see the, let's say, fast-moving consumer goods. It, in a way, needs an audience or a customer. You are the supplier of what they want. Supply, demand, everything is in a way similar. There are customer segments. Like if you...
So you need to put out just a lot, basically, to win in this
and you have to change yourself.
Contest. Like, and maybe accept that we need stuff like AI to be able to generate the output that we actually need to make it a political tool.
And also make sure that you can cope with the competition, because everyone out there is using some kind of tool or some kind of a technology to support their development.
I mean, you seem very open to me, because the last guest that I had here was also a musician, interestingly enough, and he said that he's sometimes quite scared when he sees how fast AI can replace him, maybe. So
it already
you
did.
As an artist, okay, so you're very clear about that, and if now I would feed all your songs into AI and basically I wouldn't need you from that point on, what would you think about that? How would you feel about that?
Well, you technically can't do that, I assume. Europe does have an AI Act. Okay, that act also slows things down, etc. But the actual value in music is just doing it, but also performing it, I believe. Yeah. And of course, intellectual property is extremely important. In that regard, Europe is great.
Yeah.
I could give you an example of ABBA. Yeah. Also, one of the winners of Eurovision.
Yeah, true.
With their song Waterloo, and Waterloo is in Belgium, by the way. So many coincidences there. And they're no longer here, but they have ABBA Voyage. Maybe you heard about it. So they regenerate them in AI.
Yeah, I saw some posters for this in Cologne. Yeah.
They probably have a tour. I mean, they're not there, but they have the tour. And think of this. ABBA can perform in 3, 4, 5 different cities at the same night. How could you compete with such an artist? So AI could have unbelievable use cases. And for the future of my career, I'm now thinking of what I can do, because you can't just sit down and try to find inspiration and make songs in that way. It can also help for that. It can help for making your music videos. Yeah. So there are a lot of ways.
I like that you're so open about that. I think, as you say, it already took over. And the whole idea that we can stop this or change this is ridiculous. We have to now live with it. And I think the position that you outlined, in my personal view, is the most realistic one in that regard. Kaan, my dear, we're already at the end of our podcast, but
It was a pleasure.
we have a tradition. We have a tradition in the podcast. It's 3 quick-fire questions I want you to answer.
Yes.
So it's going to be 2. You answer to me normally, a standard way. And then for the last one, I want you to look directly to the camera.
And then it's done.
Then it's done. So
Okay.
the first question is, if you would found a party, a political party, what would be the name of that party?
Evolve.
Evolve. Oh, that came
I
very
have a
quick.
song like that now.
Quickest answer so far with that, Evolve. It's a great campaign name. Second one, if you would give the Commission President Ursula von der Leyen a school grade, what grade would that be? And now I will introduce you to the German grade system. We have from 1 to 6, and 1's the best and 6 the worst. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What would Ursula von der Leyen, the German originated Commission President of the European Union, what would she get?
To keep my neutrality, can I give 0?
No, you have to give a school grade for Ursula von der Leyen's work.
3 low, or
3 is the third best, but also it's in the middle.
It's in the middle. Let's do that. 3.
3. Okay, glatte 3. And now for
when I meet her next time one day, I hope she's okay with this.
I told her after her election, I told her that I didn't vote for her because with the basic democratic process within the party, I told her I didn't vote for you and I hope you prove me wrong. And she laughed and she said I try my best. So I think.
But there are so many things going on, even that you might not catch.
Yes.
So. It's really hard to grade people. That's why I tried to keep it in the middle.
3 is good. 3 is fair.
I will develop a better understanding with the years to come in Brussels.
For the last question, please, into the camera directly, your message to the world.
I'll keep it in a long sentence. Make sure that you don't chase false happinesses and know that you're here to evolve and enjoy life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's it. That was fun. Thank you very much.
It was nice. I liked it.
Guys, what's your message to the world? What's your school grade to Ursula von der Leyen? Write it down in the comments and follow for more. See you next time. Thanks for watching. And what do you like most about this video? What did you dislike the most about this video? Put it in the comments and follow for more. Also another special thanks to the European Union for financing this content.